Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello. It's time for another episode of, what is this? Twitch.tv/DanSnacks, the coolest place on the internet, and the only place you can get Dan and Snacks. We're doing a Flail run, which has turned into something very different, based on weapon ashes we have found over the run. I gotta tell you, they kind of were not really good in Dark Souls 3, and they are so good in this game. Basically different flavors of OP. When I reviewed this game, I had no idea of the power of stuff like Hoarfrost Stomp, for example. But we are certainly seeing in this run, and we'll see how it suits us today. We have things to do, that's for sure. Do we want to get our weapon plus more? Do we want to do the... Oh, man. Options, my friends. Options. We'll see where the path leads us. There's lots of stuff. We could get. We probably want to get a weapon plus 25 before we do anything late game. And we do have opportunities to do that. For now... let's begin the journey through the mountaintops of the giants. These are treacherous lands, but the enemies here are very deadly, but they'll fight each other. So, any of these things can kill you by themselves. Let them fight each other, Let them fight. .jpg. Alrez, what's up, yo? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. We just got dismounted, which means we probably got invaded. Nice try. Ooh, the Rivers of Blood. I wanted that. We need a lot of arcane to use it, I believe, but it is a very cool katana. The sweet special ability. Hey, downtown, I'm glad you're every time, this game is an epic journey. And everyone's been asking me, like, when are you going to post a walkthrough? It's like... this game is such an individual... personalized experience on top of everything else. Don't know if I want to do that. Like, yes, the stomp detective. We're actually putting stomp to the test today. So I've been doing some research, and stomp is not the only really very strong weapon art in this game. Weapon Ash. There are many. I think it's just that like a lot of the old Souls players, including myself, are like, we're so used to the weapon arts, weapon ashes being complete trash that we haven't done a whole lot of experimenting. But yeah, Frost Stomp and many of the others seem very, very powerful. And that's another layer to take into your game. What am I going to do, walkabout in Australia? I've spent a lot of time in Australia, actually. Yes, Dan, the Bloodhound weapon is absolutely being used to great effect by players. Oh, look at this. The Fire Giant. Now, From Software loves big critters. Now, they almost always have a weakness, right? So look for this thing. He's got a clasp on his shoe. And Achilles' heel, if you will. break that clasp, and that's going to leave him extremely vulnerable. Keep hitting that foot. This can be a very dangerous boss. Break the foot, and then hit the foot that you've broken. His other clasp does not break. Only one of his feet has the a breakable clasp. As you can see, his damage output is very potent, but he is a very, you know, a very traditional large FromSoft enemy, so using the horsey will be to your huge advantage here. Run circles around him quite literally. And continue to beat on that weakened foot. He is not a fan of us finding his weakness. How big? Hey, big boss, yes, this is a main boss. This is a critical path boss. You will have to eventually defeat him. He's half gimmick, half mechanics. I mean, big boss, I can go elsewhere too, but the secret stuff is going to be probably even you want to see that even less. Fair. I'll see you in 5. Hang on, dead bitch. I'll get to you. Oh, God. Not a foe to be trifled with. That damage output is absurd. Fire immune amulet would be good for this fight. You know what, I should just Hoarfrost him, right? Can't do that on a horse, though. This move is so good. Why use strategy when you can Hoarfrost him? Dan Bish, I think most of the... I think only the big bosses will be the ones considered for that. For those, I mean, I already know where I'm going to place everything. I'm just waiting, you know, the grace period from release to put my rankings down. I already know where the S and A tier bosses are in this game. I think no one's going to care about the, many of the catacombs. Not all, but many of the catacombs and cave and etc. bosses will be D or low C tier. They're not meant to be, you know, incredibly memorable experiences. They're speed bumps to be tackled, but not in the same way as high-profile bosses. Yeah, the gargoyles can be frustrating, depending on when you fight them. You know, again, the gargoyles is a fight that is available probably earlier. Like, again, this game is so incredible for that, right? There's no certain time when you're going to be fighting those gargs. By the way, you don't have to fight the Gargs. You don't have to. There's so many, you know. A huge amount of this game is optional. And we don't have to do progression here, but we are going to, so be warned.
I have long observed.
No, this isn't the ending or anything. We're just, we are progressing the story, though.
This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate. Are you prepared to commit a cardinal sin?
Hi, DBZ.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
There is another way to do things. But considering what we've already chosen with our ending, getting married to Ronnie, we don't really care about this. Oh, and yeah, this isn't the ending, by the way. Come on, we're really far away from that. But this does set us on a path.
O Erd tree, you shall burn.
Yes, Dan. I still think even the cool ones, like that beast, will be relegated to C and D tier. There are bosses which are S tier and A tier in this game.
Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside Flail shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
This is a cool level. This is a very cool legacy dungeon, and there is a secret boss here. Which we can try if people want. It is a very big level, like the other legacy dungeons. Quite epic, actually. I mean, you can tell that just by looking at it. Leafeon, one mean Leafeon. do have a lot of runes. We're not at the end of the game, but we're getting there. Hence, I have lots of runes. I think the boss fights where you use the horse are designed for that, and you should use it when you can. You don't have to. I mean, obviously, you know, I have to get off my horse to use the frost. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, well, I had, you know, that's a great team, Leif. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'll have to check it out sometime. Just imagine, I get to be in the same room with those folks every day back in the day. Those were good times. Oh yeah, I don't care about that. Come on. Again, I try to teach people this, Jay. I don't really care. I try to practice what I preach, and that's to not care about your runes. There are always more runes. Yeah, Leaf, same. I know that that's been promised to be right around the corner, but you know, it is always so complicated moving into a new space. That's why I was so reticent to give a date or a time. But I hear we're very close. Realistically, you know, I know that it's been said that it'll be like next month or whatever, but we'll get in there when we get in there. And it should be fun when that happens, but I don't know when that's going to be. I mean, it's a very real thing. It is being built out. I mean, I moved for it, so yeah, it's real. I just don't know when we're going to have an actual launch date, if you will. That stuff's always way more complicated than anyone can predict. Hey Mariana, what's up? We are going to see if Froststomp can carry us all the way here. This is a huge level. We've skipped a ton of stuff already. I would highly advise that when you get here, you explore thoroughly. But we will be showing you some secrets in this area tonight, most likely. So be ready for that. Unless people don't want to see the secret Dragon Lord. I'll leave that up to the group. I have zero anxiety about that, Jay. Oh my god, this move really is OP. Frost Shock! Yeah, this okay. Man. Okay, let's go. You're welcome, Big Boss. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, that was a pretty tough boss, wasn't it? You know, hey, listen, I don't get into fights with YouTubers, alright? I have found the secret boss in this level, yeah. In fact, well, it's not pretty clear. This is a big level, but we'll go there when we get there. I wonder if that boss can survive the might of the Frost Stomp. Like, probably nothing can. I am truly interested to see if anything can survive the Frost Stomp. I'm still quite frail, though, so that makes things interesting, right? I don't know what the Frost Stomp scales with. Does it matter what it scales with? I think it's the fact that it just basically guarantees you're going to hit Frostbite over and over on the enemy, which does a huge amount of damage. Because there are so many, like, separate incidents of frost stacking on it, you know? Now, by the way, I've seen some other Ashes of War that are really strong too. And also, by the way, we are trucking through this level. This is a very big legacy dungeon with a ton of stuff to see and do. But basically, because we have Frost Stomp, we just don't care. I'm actually seeing, I actually, legitimately, chat, I am seeing how far we can push the Frost Stomp build, like, into absurdity here. We will try to take on an ultra boss with this tonight. We'll try to take on a boss that I didn't kill till post-game on my initial run, who is in this area. This cool guy is not it. But you can beat him for some really nice rewards, too. He flew away. He flew away, Salty. He's got a... He likes to harass the player from range in this stage. I mean, we have not yet found an opponent that could not be stomped. I'm wondering if such a thing exists. You know, I'm actually, you know, Emo, I've been thinking about this. Like, the one boss that gave me trouble in this game, like real trouble, the one that I really had to sweat to beat, if that boss can be frost stomped to death, I will be highly disappointed. But that's also my fault for not experimenting with Ashes of War. Right? Alright. Those of you in chat who don't like secrets, I am going to be showing one here in a moment. So just fair warning. I do not think the Frost Stomp will be enough to take on this particular boss. He is a fearsome enemy, a very visually impressive enemy. I think you'll like it. Nah, Salty, we're trying to push Frost Stomp as much as we can. That's the reason. Like, screw upgrading our weapon, screw organic play. Let's just see how far we can get on the back of poor Frost Stomp. Alright, so here's the secret. This can be kind of confusing, but there's a drop-off here. And I know you're sitting there being like, Dan, a drop-off? LOL, duh. But there's more. You'll see. Crucible Knights are actually OP. They're not balanced around anything. They have, like, no poise value, and they can just continue attacking. They're much too strong for when you might first fight them. Alright, so we're going to drop down here. There is no shortcut to this boss because it is an ultra-secret boss. It is not the boss that I've said is the best fight in the game or anything like that, but it is a very cool dragon battle. And my first time coming down here, I really had no idea what was going on. The area does not lend itself to you making a discovery, except for the fact that you get to the end here and you're like, what's going on? What do I do? And I'm glad people put markers in front of it, as you can see. But me being here before was just like, what? Like, there's no obvious solution to this puzzle, right? But what you do, actually, let's do the stream raid first, because this will be involved, and I don't know if we'll be able to frost shock down the boss. I will, we'll see. We'll do the stream raid here. I don't think there's any... Well, there is one Ultra Dungeon. We can go to it tonight if you want, Matt. This is a Legacy Dungeon. I wouldn't say it's an Ultra Dungeon. It does have a hidden boss, though. We did lose, DBZ. I'm not happy about that. You love Elden Ring? Me too. I do think Elden Ring is the best game ever made. You found Dung Eater Corporeal. What should you do? That's up to you. You have to make that choice, Pratt. I can't make it for you. All right. This is a secret boss fight. This is one of the biggest fights in the game. Not like the best or anything, but it is well hidden. And you have to come to this grave and lie down in it. This is one of the hidden boss fights in the game, not the only one. I think it is the best dragon fight in a From Software game, which is an accolade. Not the best fight in this entire game or anything, but I think the coolest boss fight in this game. For dragons. Whether or not we can completely cheese it up with our Frost Stomp, we're going to find out. That's the only reason I'm coming here early. I didn't beat this till post-game in my first run because I couldn't find it. This is the first time you'll have availability to this battle, and it will probably be way too big for you. This guy is huge, by the way. Even with endgame levels and fully upgraded gear, he was extremely fat. However, we shall see if Hoarfrost has anything to say about that. This fight is very cool. Not the coolest fight in the game. But very cool. So if we beat this guy with the OP move, does it mean it's OP? I don't know, because I've seen other moves that are even more OP. I think the Ashes of War are just really OP in general. Let's see how we fare. I should have put my lightning amulet on. Oh my god, Hoarfrost is so good! Holy crap! This guy is a titan and being absolutely annihilated. Alright, that's it. I gotta write an article about this. I cannot honestly believe it that this move is so good. This guy was really troublesome. I mean, he wasn't like super hard for me because I was post-game. But he's being completely just destroyed by the Frost Shock. This is actually ridiculous. Oh my god. That ain't right. That ain't right. I don't think I can go fight my arch nemesis, my favorite boss in all of From games with this ability. I'd cry afterwards. Wow. Okay. No. I'm not okay with what just happened there. That fight is way more interesting than you saw. Yeah, this is actually, like, I'm gonna write an article that says, like, you know, if you want easy mode. Well, Jay, I don't, it'll take him some time to nerf it. From does nerf things, but it takes some time. Alright, that was... I'm not proud of what we did there, but it's important to do that. Please wait to... I'll think about it, Fred. Keep going with your playthrough. No, that dragon is supposed to be extremely big, by the way. By the way, that dragon has really, really, really cool stuff. I just think I'm not used to magic. That dragon can do terrible things. Like, it's got this cool Thundercloud ability. He's got really cool claw abilities. I remember doing that fight, you know, like a hardcore melee guy, and that was not my experience, what we just had there. I got it, J-Durf. Good lord. Largos, what build are you using? Yeah, we're just using a build called Hoarfrost Stomp. It's not even a build. It's just an ability. An ability you can get before you fight any major boss in the game. You can take this to Margit and probably eat him. Oh my god, this move is so OP. I can't believe this. Leaf, I don't want to fight Millennia with this ability because I'm scared of what's going to happen. I spent hours fighting Millennia. You know, one-on-one, sword v sword. This ability is sick and wrong. I'm not okay with this. I'm not. I can't believe we just did that to the Dragon Lord. It was disrespectful. That ain't right. That is not right. Brad, I explored. I had Hoarfrost Stomp. I just didn't use it. I was playing a big Unga Bunga build, right? I had to learn how to, like, you know, stagger, stick and move. Now I just hit a button and I kill things with massive shock buildup. You're right. That's fair, Pratt, because I kind of assumed Ashes, you know, not unduly, I assumed Ashes would be along par of weapon arts, right? They are a lot stronger. The Frost Stomp is not the only broken weapon Ash. Not by a long shot. In fact, I think there are probably more broken ones. God, it does so much damage. This really is. The next time somebody says they want an easy mode for this game, I'm just going to tell them to get this move. Wow, we're just laughing in the face of death, quite literally at this point. Listen, I think that I deserve some kudos for figuring this one out, alright? We experimented this playthrough, we tried things, and we found things. Oh boy. Should we go try to fight Millennia with this? So that I can cry myself to sleep tonight? I could, if I do her like that, I don't think I can live with myself, honestly. God, that was so gross. The Dragon Lord laid low by a handful of ice. Well, right. That's exacerbating it, Jay. That's certainly exacerbating the situation. The Ditto is actually like really good no matter what.
Death is unbound. And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns. Farewell it is then.
Absolutely not, Pretendus One. In fact, this should help out people who want an easy mode. I mean, I can't lie. I didn't work at all for either of those kills, and I had to work for them on my playthrough, my original playthrough. I will say again, though, this is not the only very strong weapon art in the game. No, Big Boss, I will give a warning before we do anything like that. We're going to go after Millennia next and see if I can... If I can cheese Millennia, my favorite boss in all of From Software history with this move, then... that ain't right. I had to learn that fight, like... I had to learn that fight front and back in order to beat her over the course of hours. Of course, I wasn't using weapon arts. So maybe I was just playing wrong. Well, Millennia is an incredible boss fight. The best fight in any From Software game. SS tier. Like, if we have an S tier, she's even better, okay? Now we gotta get to her. Radahn's dead. How am I gonna Hoarfrost him? He's already gone. I'm gonna speed through the Halleck tree too here. This is an incredibly legacy dungeon. This is the best legacy dungeon in the game, and I advise you to search every corner of it so you can get fully tricked out. We just don't care anymore. We have the power of ice. Oh. And with the power of ice, you don't really care about anything else. Oh, they're not snowmen. They're trumpeters. They fight you with music. It's actually very cool. Oh my god, the damage output. Okay, I'm still taking extreme heavy damage. So that's good, right? No matter how OP my frost is, I'm still taking extreme damage. We are now proceeding into the Halleck tree. We are wearing a poncho. Just call me Calcestus. We are Scarlet Rotted. Wonderbar. Normally, I would be scouring this environment for upgrades and stuff. I just don't care what level my weapon's at anymore. I don't think anyone does. We are now going to put Frost Shock to the ultimate test. I mean, we got to make this Legacy Dungeon. It's going to take a while. This is a very big dungeon. Full of nastiness. Probably the best dungeon in the entire game. It is hidden. It is secret. If you want to know how to get to it, I have detailed it in an article. It does contain the best boss fight in From Software history. Who now we have to put to the test. I will be incredibly disappointed if I can cheese her down with the icy chill. I will be. I will cry myself to sleep tonight. I spent hours fighting her, doing it the quote-unquote the right way. If I can just spam Frost on her and it kills her, I will be so disappointed. I know, Big Boss, I know. I'm aware of this. You don't have to tell me that. No, Pretendus 1, don't do that. We have to test it, right, for science. I mean, is this really what I've been missing out on for years by not playing Magic? I don't know. Everything in the Halig tree is extremely lethal and dangerous, okay? Hi, Nanaka, how are you? I murdered the Dragon Lord with a handful of ice. I went down the hall in the hotel to get an ice bucket, and I brought it to the Dragon Lord and threw it on him, and he died. I'm not going to say he was a struggle in my review playthrough, because he wasn't. But I was super huge, but he was the last boss I killed. Last boss I found. This is not New Game Plus. This is a standard new game. This is not my review character. This is our first stream playthrough where we found an ability. We found an ability in a river. And we just decided... We found an axe, actually. We found a dex axe. A dex hatchet that had the skill, you know, native on it. And then we just decided to go all in on this weapon art, and it is completely insane, to be honest with you. I feel dirty using it after my first playthrough, which was filled with struggle. This has not been the same experience. And if we can take this ability to Melania, the best boss in this entire game, and just hit Frostomp a few times and kill her, then I will... Like I said, I'm gonna cry. Strong men also cry. I have never seen the sins we committed against the Dragon Lord. That was gross. That was really gross. He didn't even get to do any of his cool stuff. So naughty. That was her ghost, Brad. It wasn't really her. That's why she's blue. Dr. Mano, I will be heartbroken if my waifu can be slaughtered with such indelicate ease when she is such a delicate fight. Mastering that fight took me 3 hours, I think. No. It was her incarnation of the carrion magic, Pratt. Hi, Azal. Welcome. She was channeling it to the manor from here. God. I spent hours doing the delicate dance with Melania on my playthrough, and I thought it was the most amazing fight in From Software history. If I can just frost shock her to death, I'm gonna be a little sad. I am gonna cry about it. Like, I will legitimately, you know, that'll be for only Dan subscribers. You'll get to hear me sob into Kleenex. Like, this is the fight we're going to, the fight we're working up toward here, is the best fight in any From Software game ever. And if she can just be cheesed after the beautiful dance, if you will, that it took to beat her, I will be heartbroken. But I'll accept it. I mean, this is the fight we're going to, folks, is the one that I struggled to beat at 3 a.m. in my PJs. And it really, like, it was a life-changing event. The best battle in all of these games I have ever experienced. A true fight of warrior against warrior. And if I can just cheese her down with a couple of frost shocks, then that ain't right. Oh, I'm not gonna do a review, Brad. Not everyone's gonna know about her frost shock when they fight her, right? In fact, I imagine most players won't even find her at all. This entire level is secret. Oh my lord, this move. Imagine going like a magic build with this move. I had to like grow into like some mind points later on. Imagine just doing nothing but Vit, mana, and Frost Stomp. I don't want to imagine that. It hurts me inside. Raven Beat took me 2 hours. I mean, Ishin took me longer than Millennia, but I think Ishin trained me well for Millennia's playstyle. Millennia is my favorite FromSoft boss ever. And unfortunately, I doubt that people will understand why if we use this tactic against her. And also, this is such a Dan run. We're just running by all these precious items, all these other secret paths. Which normally I would never do. Frankly, though, we're now testing the efficacy of what I consider to be an incredibly broken ability. That's what we're doing now. We're no longer, like, really playing. I mean, this run took... Just getting down here took me hours in the first place. This is the most challenging Legacy dungeon in the entire game. And it's a sight to behold, too. Sure, DJ, I mean, that's always been the case, right? This isn't a unique thing to this game. You've always been able to break these games. That's been universally true since Demon's Souls, right? There's some important items there to our left, but I just don't care. We're gonna go find out if this move really is the broke-ass thing that we think it is. But yes, I've already seen other broken abilities that I'm sure that can be, in a sense, exploited, yeah. Maybe I was the one playing the game wrong. Maybe I made it harder for myself. We have to consider that as an option. By the way, the Halig tree that we're in right now is an amazing Legacy dungeon. And I highly recommend you take your time in it. And not do what I'm doing. I am now a scientist. At this point in time, we are a scientist. And we are practicing the most... We are practicing arcane sciences. A road that should never be tread. Involving frost. And feet. Oh, this is the most intense poison swamp in the whole game that must be traversed on foot. No, no mount to help here. As I said, this Legacy dungeon is enormous. We have blitzed through because I know the path, because I've done it before. Or do I? Where the hell are we supposed to go now? This entire area, by the way, is optional. The entirety of it. This entire Legacy dungeon. Well, the Scarlet Rot's gonna kill us soon. Oh, there we go. I mean, I think that, you know, at the end of the day, this is an RPG, you know? So, yeah, I'm sure there will always be videos of people, like, just eliminating super bosses with no effort whatsoever. That's part of life. But no one can take away the challenge that Millennia gave me initially. And if it does go away here with the Frost Stomp, then so be it. I hope she will not fall prey to it. I have a terrible feeling that she will. Everything else has. If the Lord of Dragons died to it, then unfortunately, oh, here we go. Oh, Millennia. This is, folks. I hope you're ready for this. I might get emotional here. This is the most badass fight From Software has ever created. So obviously we will be completely silent during cutscenes. Will Stomp work? God, I effing hope not. Radon is a cool gimmick fight. Bora.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return. Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
Yeah, she's never known defeat because she's extremely hardcore. Oh no! No! Don't do that much damage, Frost, please! I mean, if you notice, she has an anti-cheese mechanic. She heals herself every hit she does. reason I'm not using the rest of my mana pool, which will be evident shortly. I only have one more bar left. Yeah, he sucks with flails. Alright, so this is good. We didn't get past phase 1. That's good. I guess we'll just try to draw the phase 2 so you can see the cutscene. We will not beat it without a mana bar with Frost to exploit. I mean, you're not wrong, Big Boss. We'll correct that. But this, I tell you, this boss is so good if you don't do whatever it is we're doing. By the way, her phase 1 is easy mode. Well, it's not. It took me hours to get that down, too. But phase 2 makes phase 1 look like Candyland. So we bring a couple more flasks of mana, I guess. It gets looter, Brad, don't worry.
The scarlet bloom flowers once more.
Just watch.
You will witness true horror. Now, rot. By the scarlet light.
Yeah, her phase 2 is incredible. Her phase 1 requires complete mastery, unless you're doing what we're doing, right? Her phase 2 requires the same mastery, because she still heals herself off every attack, but it's also much more frenzied and unpredictable. It is without a doubt the best fight in any From Software game ever, and we've turned it into a circus amusement by utilizing the frost shock, but you know, you do what you gotta do. I really am disappointed by that fact, given how many hours it took me to beat her, and it felt so good every time I got, you know, one more step along the path. Pretend this one, I mean, 2 more mana flasks should get us there, right? I'm gonna use the restroom. God, I wasn't using Ashes of War, right? I was hitting her with a big weapon, like a caveman. Apparently, Ashes of War are really good. Anyway, I'll be right back. All right. You know, Chad, I got to level with you. I am on the Millennia train. I'm very disturbed by the fact that I was able to cheese round 1 so easily. I mean, the thing is, that's not the only cheesy... Ashes of War are really strong, and they should get utilized. I'm still in that Dark Souls 3 philosophy where the weapon arts are garbage, and they're not. They're so good in this game, and that fight would have probably been a lot easier. Look, I got 2 Millennia posters. The second I beat that battle, I ordered them. You can now see them behind me. Right there. Right about thereabouts. Taking over some Bloodborne space. It is a fantastic fight when done properly. When done how it is supposed to be. And I am, frankly, a little disturbed that we're going to cheese it down. But that's reality, isn't it? Anyway, Frost Stomp. Very good stuff, right? Let's get back to the action. We got a couple more mana flasks, which is okay as long as we don't get hit. I spent hours in this fight. So might, I guess. Which would be good. Okay, that's good. See, I still have to read the ability. No. It doesn't look like we can totally cheese this one, which is good. Yeah, that's good. Big Boss, I like that. I'm happy about that, actually. She has never known defeat. You think that, do you? Might be right. But there's a reason I have it out. Believe me, I have studied this fight long and hard. Damn it!
By the scarlet rot.
Did you remember? Yeah, Jay. You know, I like to sneak those into the programming, right? I mean, frankly, I'm glad I got beat. That's what I said. Pretend to win. Yes. It was around 3 hours, and it took like a midnight. I mean, I have the achievement on Steam. It was actually 1:30 a.m. when I woke up and killed her. I said it was 3 a.m. I think I said it was the middle of the night when I beat her. Yeah, because I'm not used to using cheese, Pratt. That's why. I have no idea what range attacks even look like. Yeah, but not against her. She's different. You'll know that in time. If you don't dodge that first hit, you die instantly on phase 2. Big Boss, this fight's optional. I would say that the vast majority of reviewers did not find this fight, even if they did complete the game. Me too. I'm wearing them on my main character, man. After I killed her, I immediately took up her, took both of her weapons, her armor and her weapon. I'm dead. This is good. I do appreciate the fact that we could not cheese her like we did everything else. It's still a lot easier, but it's not As easy. We can cure the rot. There are items to cure the rot. I'm sure I have them on me. But not very sportsmanship, is it? Not very sporting. We might need better flasks. That was so much easier than my first time. I did cheese it. Yeah, I did. I admit it. We had to see.
Mikola, my brother. I'm sorry.
The first time, Heavy Driver, there was the guttural yell.
You meant my man.
I don't think I can take
Now it's Rhine time!
I don't know if I can take the guttural yell when we iced her down. That fight, you know, even when I was choosing it, it was incredibly intense. That should tell you something. It got me a walrus fart. Thank you, chat. All right. You know, still really intense. Even cheese down, that fight is incredible. Like I wish I had a heart rate monitor. My stuff's definitely like going way high for that one. Even again, the intensity of that fight is higher than any other fight in any From Software game, by a large margin. Even when you're cheesing, she is her rot butterflies are so capricious. All right, where were we? Oh yeah. Well, We have some business to attend to. We might be doing some big things tonight. There is a lot of content we skipped, but so much, in fact. But we're riding high on this cheese. Of course, Big Boss. Of course. I've done it before, and I'd love to do it again. It will take me hours again. And I will not regret it. Yes, heavy driver. That will be the hardest thing. Well, it actually depends on how effective the cheese is on other things. Oh, this weapon. 48 dex. I want to dual wield these. And she also gives an incantation that requires 35 face straight up. A giant flower that explodes with scarlet rot. Beautiful. But I would like to get the Hand of Melania as well. But I want to copy it first. So let's do that. I want to get 2 of them. Yeah, Brett, you're about to learn something, aren't you? Let's say you want 2 or even 3 items off for Remembrance. You seen those giant turtle bell things walking around? At each giant turtle bell thing, which, you know, I think I've said this before, but you can copy a remembrance once. Why not read this screen? Remembrances are from core bosses, of which we have killed every single one. So if we want to make a copy of the Rot Goddess, for example, so we can make 2 swords, or her sword and her thing, totally okay. So these turtle things are all over the land. You've probably seen them. Anything you've killed that has a shard will offer you that. Thought I just duplicated it. Oh, I can't get another one? No! Whatever, we have to... For this playthrough anyway, we have to not use it, right? We have to live with the power of our frost. And see if it can take us all the way. Now, I don't usually do this, but we're gonna skip this entire. This is a legacy dungeon down here, the sewers. There's a lot in there. We're gonna skip it because of story reasons. On the other hand, what we may be doing for the rest of the evening will be significant toward endgame. So, if those are factors that you have been avoiding, it's time to say goodnight. And I appreciate you coming. The Dung Eater is down there, yes, Brett. Among other things. If you are averse to seeing endgame material, I would never kick you out, Pretendus One. I'd like you to stay. But I always appreciate people having their first experience, you know? There is a sewer after the city has fallen, Pratt, which is what you're witnessing now. Good night, Inaka. Have a great one. Alright, I've given you warnings. From here on out, there are going to be spoilers. I love y'all.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. Angel spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle. On to eternity.
Holy god, this move is so OP. Oh my god.
In my bones, a tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you.
God, that was dirty.
A man cannot kill a god.
Wow. What? Goodbye, Mariana. Have a wonderful evening. I'm gobsmacked by that. No, Big Boss. It was really good. He gave it was a really good fight. You should have seen Phase 2. Hey, warnings have been issued. I know a ton of people left, which is cool. We're about to start doing stuff. And this move is so stupid that I can't imagine we'll have trouble with anything. But it might be really cool.
It's been a long while, Morgoth. Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold.
Hi, Koda Kobe. Thanks for the follow.
Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand.
By the way, we did marry Ranni, so... I mean, there's still a lot more.
Alas, I am returned.
This guy's a Dan character.
To be granted audience once more.
Yes, Pratt, but there are multiple ways to handle that, if you know what I mean. You don't, but there are...
Upon my name as Godfrey.
You'll get here eventually no matter what. But it can happen different ways.
Elden
There are multiple different endings, including ones with some differentiation. This gets nasty.
That will be all. Thou didst me good service, Sirach.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta, like, go for it, you know what I mean? You gotta eat your stand. He actually just becomes a DBZ character at this point. It's kind of hilarious.
I've given thee courtesy enough.
What's that smell? Beasts all over the shop.
I fight as Horalu. Warrior!
Well, that was completely unfair. I had no chance to respond to that whatsoever. He's Horalu, alright? You know what Horalu hates more than anything? Frost Stomp! I can't believe how crazy overpowered these abilities are. I'm disturbed. Hi, Crater. What's up? We are going into it, folks. I certainly did not plan for this to be the case tonight. I certainly didn't plan for us to kill Millennia. And I certainly didn't plan for us to beat the game. This will be taking us into the final battle. We do have a different ending on tap. We will not be doing the standard ending. We have the Age of Stars in online. Salty, we had to test this. And now, you know, my goal, I guess, after this playthrough is to tell the world. The next time somebody tells me the game is too hard, I'm just going to go tell them to get Frost Stomp. And that argument goes right out the window. I spent hours killing Millennia on my review. Hours, okay? Learning every single one of her, like, inflections of, like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching on the sword. Like, knowing exactly what her next move was going to be. And basing my decisions based on that. Like, this is ridiculous, frankly. But you have to do these things, you know. It's part of life. We have laid low many bosses that don't deserve to be killed this way. With the power of frosty ice. I'm sorry, Anibia, to dream about the ads. I don't control those. There's no way you had 5 ads in a row. I don't have anything like that on my channel set up. God, this stupid move. And you know what? The worst part is there are moves more broken than that too. I'm just so not used to having magic. I think magic users get to feel like this all the time. And I'm not kidding, by the way. The only time I ever played with magic in a Souls game was Demon Souls, and yeah, it was ridiculous. What we have been doing tonight is sick and wrong experimentation, folks. But I am appreciative of the fact that I guess there are powers to handle the struggle, so to speak. I mean, I believe you, Inebriated Dream. I just don't know what would cause that. All right, here we go, folks. This is your final warning. Assuming we do beat this boss, which, given the fact that Frost is incredibly overpowered, I don't see it not happening.
And to think,
we will have a
hesitated.
special ending that we took earlier by marrying Ronnie the Witch. I don't actually think I'll first try it. This fight is actually very cool. If you've not seen this fight, it is very good. It is also very hard. It's not as hard as Millennia, but it's probably the second hardest fight in the game. So, enjoy. We'll have a nice cutscene first. A very cool battle that I have no idea of how effective Frost will be, but given the rest of the game, it's probably overpowered. Correct, Jay. If you subscribe, there are not ads. Inebriated Dream is now subbed, and we'll never have to worry about that again. Let's see what happens, folks. And again, we will be doing a special ending. The most special of endings, because we married Ranny the Witch. Also, I don't expect to one-shot this, even with the cheese. These bosses have a rather complicated moveset that requires some finesse. Again, not as much as Millennia, but it is a worthy final boss. Certainly more impressive than Soul of Cinder, Natasha, or Gwen. Chandra, not sure why I called her Natasha.
And to think, I hesitated.
Thank you, Heavy Driver. I do appreciate that. Your subs keep the stream going. That's why I can do this. Appreciate all of you here tonight. He's weak to Frost too. Everything in this game is weak to Frost. Holy God, I can't believe the damage he's doing. Okay, yeah, this guy's still really dangerous, by the way. I did have to learn his entire moveset the first time I beat him. This time I don't think I'm going to have that problem. Well, maybe. Rock, you might be right, but that was not the... I mean, that part of the fight is actually worthy of a final battle itself, which we made look like a joke, thanks to the Secret of Frost. That is not the final encounter. This battle does require a significant amount of mastery under normal conditions. As always, we can alter the conditions of this game, right? Like any RPG. If Frost does what it's done to everything else in this game, then this will be the most unepic final battle ever, but perhaps this thing is resistant to it. I spent a good bit of time learning this fight. It is highly challenging. Again, not Millennia tier. But this is probably the best final battle in a From game. Despite its appearance. It is beautiful, majestic, and overwhelming. Which we may or may not see depending on its resistance to Frost. It wouldn't have done to beat it on the first try, would it have? You know, Frost, not so effective. This is good. Pratt, yeah, of course. You can, as I did on my original playthrough, you can still Unga Bunga him. It just requires some care. Super Nintendo, that's a very good question. If I found the ice move on my first playthrough. I did find the ice move on my first playthrough, I just didn't use it. It couldn't be applied to my special weapon. I was using a... Oh, no horse. No horse for real fights, Pratt, come on. Wait, can we use a horse in that fight? I'll try next time. Super Nintendo, I probably would not have used that. Had I found that ice move in my review, I would not have used it, okay? I'll be honest with you. thought he was starting to double. Damn it. That was me. That was all me. No, I knew what he was doing. He telegraphs it. I just thought he was not targeting me. And no torrent. I tried torrent. Can't use torrent. So, this is what we unlocked earlier in the game. To do the Age of Stars completion, you'll have to do this. Enjoy, folks. I know I will. This is not the standard ending. This is a special ending that we did a rather complex quest chain to unlock.
The battle is over, I see.
Jay, we have determined what we want for this world, Jay. Which Randy will now describe. I mean, we did marry her.
I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
Nice credits, yep. Let us never talk about what happened here today again. The ice. Honestly, the ice was not that effective against the beast at the end. Pratt, I mean, we'll get to that. There's time. This is a game that's going to be talked about for a decade, and honestly, it's pretty understandable, I think.
I hesitated.
We did skip a bit of, quite a bit of, we killed all the major bosses. But we didn't go into the nuance. Leaf, thank you so much for the 5 subs. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here.
I hesitated.
What we did with that ending, Pratt, was we sided with Ronnie, who was... frankly, her vision of the world is not that, vibrant. I mean, nobody's is. They're all evil. It's degrees, right?
And to think, I hesitated.
Leaf, I'd like to really thank you for those subs. Thank you for being here. And everybody else who's been here for this playthrough.
And to think, I hesitated.
We cheesed really hard. It wasn't that helpful against one of the final bosses. The one that we did is one of the more complex, Pratt. There is one that you could call more of a player ending, but it is also a player ending the way that From Software does a player ending. Nothing as interesting as the What we just did was basically the usurpation DS3 ending if you want to liken things to things. We did go against the grain. And we decided we would like to see an Age of the Stars. Cheese was, frankly, this was a 2-hour stream. I spent more than 2 hours trying to kill Millennia in my first playthrough. Way more. Well, not way more, like an hour more. And I certainly didn't rush through those endgame zones. They needed to be collected. We had a like plus 17 weapon. That's a joke. It should have been plus 25, but it didn't matter because we had ice. The power of the cold ushering in an Age of the Stars. It's kind of poetic, I guess. That move is also OP as hell. But it's not the only OP move. So there's like a ton of weapon ashes that are OP. I guess the issue is that nobody uses them. Including my run. I didn't use them until I got forced to do it by playing a Dex build. I do not... Martin created very, very, very... I mean, they've been very clear about what Martin created. Like, the characters that were corrupted. Big Boss, that is why we kept going with it. At some point, you have to just go with it. At that, right? It was, I had to see if it would work. He made these characters into, like, you know, dramatic political nobles, and then From Software took them and turned them into corrupted freaks. Like they do. And I do believe there's value to that. I know a lot of critics have been, you know, being like, Miyazaki did nothing. He didn't have any effect on the game, right? But that backstory does lead into a template that I think is more interesting for From to work with. I think given guidance, rather than the character just starting as, you know, Bob, the drooling, corrupted death god, instead of starting there, it's more interesting when he starts as something different and turns into that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this playthrough. I respect everybody who bowed out because of where we're at, and I totally understand that. We did do it really fast. The world, for sure, Big Boss. The story itself is a From Software joint, completely through and through. Your choice of X and different endings, all with various degrees of ambiguity and everyone being evil, really. It's just your choice of which is the lesser evil. The world is incredible, though. They did fully realize the world in this game. That said, the story is more overt than previous From Software games outside of Sekiro, with plenty to dive into on individual tales of various places in the world. Listen, George Martin did not do a whole lot in this game, okay? That's fair. That's fair. But to say that he did nothing, which is what a lot of people are saying on Twitter, is incorrect. Giving From those core world-building aspects to work with made for a more interesting experience than if they had simply done their own thing as usual. Granted, I love their own thing. They're very good at it. But to have them take someone else's work and twist it is far more interesting than just starting Twisted. Because that's usually where they start, right? And they're very good at it. really barreled through that, didn't we? Gonna have to be magic salty, right? We gotta do a magic build. And then wait till I find out that's more OP than, than what we did. I think that we'll let people who have been bowing out from the stream for a while take a break. And we'll do a Final Fantasy VI playthrough now. I think that'll be fun. And everyone can show up. Nobody's going to complain about me spoiling that. And Big Boss, don't fight Godric. You can do the whole game without fighting Godric. It's true. I think that's where we're going to go, Pretendus 1. Obviously, I do think this is the greatest game ever made. So we'll definitely play through again, and we won't wait too long. But I think it's time for Final Fantasy VI Remaster to get its thrift. Plus, bonus time, you know, people can come here and not worry about being spoiled for a while, so that's great. We did get the Hand of Millennia, and let's go buy the whole Millennia set. I mean, that's the first thing I did after I beat her the first time, because she was really hard. And since obviously we're in post-game here, so I left a lot of Roundtable Hold spoilers away from you. But since you're still here, maybe there's still some stuff to show you here. Yeah, maybe I'll just let you discover it on your own. Yeah, I think I will. On that note. Salty. We're gonna leave this. We'll leave this alone. Goofy the game is extremely popular, yes. As it should be. That tends to happen when you create a once-in-a-lifetime game, which this is. It really is. Spirit Girl is still around. She's moved a little bit. They will not deny you of your functions.
Take a look around. The round table hold is burned, razed to the ground. Don't worry. I don't blame you. I'll continue spirit tuning, which is why I need your help. Persuading his roots, he won't, his shackles.
There's a lot of depressing stories that come out of the Roundtable Hold. Again, you've already been encouraged to leave. We already beat the game, so this won't be. This is a good bit of nastiness here. I was really heartbroken when this happened, actually. D did not make it out. I do wonder if there's a way to stop it, but there's probably not. Oh, Fia! Fia has her own machinations. That is actually the one core boss we did not defeat in this run, was the... It's not actually Fia, but it's controlled by Fia kind of encounter. Anyway. It's been a joy, fam. Let's play Final Fantasy VI next time. I hope you've enjoyed this, what has honestly been a brief glimpse. We really did rush content here at the end. Nah, we'll start it tomorrow. Yeah, the Nephali can be dealt with several ways, Pratt, depending on your playthrough. can actually do her entire moveset. Like, you thought the other thing was broken? I bet this thing just eviscerates. I bet this thing can kill a boss in one move. Forget the... I should have tried that on the Elder Beast. Like, forget the ice thing. This thing is so ridiculous. You can do the entire moveset. Like Millennia's entire signature moveset. Yeah, this would have killed the Elder Beast in 2 hits. We're not quite to Final Fantasy 13 yet, Big Boss. Quite a few more bits need to come in before we do that. But 6 has been on the docket for a long time, so... I do hope everyone enjoyed this abridged look at Elden Ring. Actually, you know, there's some trees left. Let's go kill a tree real quick with this move and see what happens. I bet it will just completely annihilate it. Super Nintendo, it's just her we're playing at this point, yes. Then we'll do the final battle of Stream Raiders and we'll call it a night. It's a good stopping point. We have just decided to put it on all of our armor and our weapons, so we've become Millennia the Severed. Who honestly is a far greater character in battle than we displayed tonight. I am a little ashamed to have cheesed her so, but I bet magic is even worse. Alright, let's do it. Let's see how this works. Good, folks. Look, Ma, no hands. Do you know the secret to Big Pot Boy, Pratt? I can tell you if you want. We're already, like, on a super spoilery stream. You can't actually take on Big Pot Boy himself. Okay, well, then I'll let you figure it out. Unless you want to know. Because we're about to call the stream. I don't think they want to do another Elden Ring, Super Nintendo. I think this is the best game that they've ever made, but I think the development time for this game was way more rigorous than anything they've ever done. Sure, Pratt. Let me tell you. Why don't I just show you and then we can call the stream. Yes, Rock, she is a doll. I think we'll see Dark Souls 4 before we see Elden Ring 2. I think the scope of this project is probably extremely difficult for the team. And they did accomplish something legendary, but I think it took it took so much time and effort that they would be averse to pursue it again. We'll see. It's really up to Miyazaki, right? So Pratt, this challenge is actually probably less obtuse than you think. You probably just didn't look hard enough. So I'll show you. The telescopes let you telescope, Deadpool. I know that sounds silly, but yeah, it gives you lets you survey the area. So there are multiple ways into the ravine, Pratt. Obviously, the easiest way is to come up through the well. And I'm going to show you the Potboy puzzle. A lot of people come up here, they try to fight Potboy, and they don't get what's going on. But instead, you must prove yourself to Potboy. There are 3 summoning sigils around him. You've got to beat all 3. The item you get is actually pretty good. We'll do this and we'll call it. It is Pretendus one, yeah. Isn't it beautiful? And it has her move too. None. You know, Millennia has never known defeat. It certainly won't be to these scrubs. What an unfortunate raid. Baby Radon trying to big time us. Big Slice Gaming, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it, but we are wrapping up things here. Just showing people how to do the Potboy quest. But thank you for the... I do appreciate it, Big Slice, I do. This is a good item. It's basically Havel's Ring. Thanks, Sir Gaiman. I appreciate that. Alright, well that about does it for us for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. Even if we did kill Millennia somewhat unceremoniously.
I know what you're thinking, as 3 o'clock CST or 4 p.m. EST comes up quickly on a Monday, doesn't it? The closing bell, as they call it. For whom does it toll today? Was it you? Was it me?
No, right? You that was perfectly timed, in my opinion. I mean, I really do think so. Anyway, I really hope people like things. We did. Man, did we ever blow through content tonight? Again, because I feel we had to test. We had to test the power of ice. And unfortunately, the power of ice was too strong, even for my girl Millennia, who is like my favorite character ever now. Listen, Zen, I get that. We're going to Final Fantasy VI tomorrow. I'm sure no one will be here. Yes, Pratt, next build we play through the game, which will not be too far away, which will be a magic build. But I want to take a break and let the people who are, like, you know, digesting the game at a reasonable pace enjoy it. So we're going to go to Final Fantasy VI next. Tell your friends. And if you're going to be like, spoilers for Final Fantasy VI, then I have nothing to tell you. There's no help I can give you. But I know we had a lot of people duck out of these streams. Rightly so. For Elden Ring stuff. So we'll be taking a little jaunt into that. Give people time to catch up on Elden Ring. And then we'll do a magic build. We're doing the Pixel Remaster. Actually, it's been out for a while, Zen. Unfortunately, the timing of its release was right when Elden Ring released, so we skipped it initially. We'll be starting it up fresh on the Pixel Remaster tomorrow. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you tomorrow night for Final Fantasy VI Remaster, which will be, we're going to take our time. We're going to enjoy it. No rushing, no ice. We're gonna say no ice magic whatsoever.